Hello everyone, welcome to the May Spotlight release. I'm Shannon with Hero Arts, and I'm going to walk you through all of the subscriptions that released this month. This month's theme is Flower Shop. It's super cute. The card kit has so many beautiful products. I can't wait to show you that. I'll start with that. Then we'll move on to the other 4 subscription options, and I'll even show the bonus item that is included if you're a subscriber to our whole studio, which is all the subscriptions in one. I'm going to pop over to the comments here and keep track of everything. Hi, Mindy. Hi, Rachel. Hello. Kilburn's Creations. That's cute. Hi, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. Today, our spotlight fell on a Friday, which is always nice. I think that's kind of a nice way to end the week with a fun, like a bunch of inspiration. I'm going to share a bunch of cards from the creative team. And I'm sorry, my air just turned off. So if it was very loud before, I apologize. We are in the heat here now. It's already hot here in Arizona. I think today we're getting to the 90s. Hello, Robin. Hello. So you might hear the air kick on again. And also, if you've seen one of my other lives, we had a sneak preview or how should I say this? A sneaky guests who popped in my last live, which was the make stamp and craft, where I create a card with the card kit and a other subscription product from the current release, which was that time was April. Well, what popped in were my 2 new little kittens. We have 2 new kittens here at this house. And they like to sometimes come up here onto the table while I work. So you may see them in this live as well. Oh, your mom lives in Arizona. Whew, she'll know. It's hot. It's getting hot. We've had I really shouldn't complain because we've had some really cool weekends the last couple weekends, which, we'll take it. Anything that postpones summer a little bit, we're there for it. Hello. Okay. So it looks like you guys are here, and let's get going. Let's start off. Oh, before I get started, I apologize because the Facebook, we were supposed to go live on Facebook as well. So this live was supposed to not only be on YouTube, but also on Facebook. But once I started this live, it looks like the stream somehow got deleted. So I apologize for anybody who was trying to see this on Facebook and maybe realized to come over to YouTube, but I do want to acknowledge that there was some kind of mix up with their stream, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I hope they come too, because they're so cute and I like sharing them off. All right, let's switch view here. We are going to start with the card kit, and I'm going to change my view. There we go. And let's look at everything that's included in the card kit, and then I'll start sharing samples along the way. And I do have a lot of cards from the creative team that I'm sharing today. We have a blog hop with every release. So if you haven't checked out the blog hop, I encourage you to check it out, because not only will you see other creations by the creative team, so you'll see lots of inspiration, but you'll also see some creations from our guest artists. So check that out as well. And I will, in the description for this YouTube video, I have a link for the blog post that has the blog hop. And I also share the blogs of all the creative teams. So a lot of the cards I'm sharing, in addition to mine, are from the creative team, and I shared their links and stuff, so you can go to their blogs and check out what they did, because I don't always know what our creative team does. I can sometimes guess, but I don't always get it right. So I do encourage you to go to their blog, read how they made a card, because they do some amazing things. They put in some incredible techniques with these products. So check them out. Definitely use the affiliate links if you're so inclined to purchase anything. It really helps them out. Okay, I'm going to move on. Rachel says Rachel's one of our creative team members, and Mindy's here too, both of our creative team members. I'm going to be making all my Mother's Day cards with this release. That's my weekend goal. Ooh, this is perfect for Mother's Day. I agree, because it's all flowered theme. All right, enough talking for me. Let's start with the card kit. The first thing I'm going to show you is this beautiful pack of papers. There's actually 18 sheets, so a lot of paper included in this kit. These sheets are not a full sheet size. They're half sheets, so they're 8.5 by 5.5. But there are 9 different colors, and I apologize, this one's used. There are 9 different beautiful colors. Let's see if I can pull it out there. Some really pretty colors, perfect for the products included in this kit. I love this palette. These are heavyweight cardstocks. This is actually the Spellbinder's new cardstocks. So really lovely, lovely, lovely palette, and great for your flowers that you can create with this set. Also some nice, I know teal isn't a neutral, but gosh, I use teal as neutral all the time. What do you guys think? I know teal isn't a neutral, but I feel like it is. Like I feel like we as card makers, teal is a neutral. We've got tan and teal. They're neutrals. Because I use this color a ton. This is Seaside. It's one of my most favorite cardstocks. So really beautiful. You get 2 of each sheet. So that's how you get the 18. 9 colors, 2 of each sheet. So really beautiful cardstocks. I'm going to put the little cardstock pack. I'm going to try to put everything on screen. Sometimes I'm able to do it. Sometimes I'm not. There's still a lot of product here that I won't really be able to fit it all on some overlapping, but when the cardstocks are so pretty, you want to put them on. Teal is a neutral, right, Rachel? Teal is a neutral. I agree. Well, I said it, so I agree with myself. Yes, teal is neutral. Next up is a clear stamp set included in the kit. This is the Vintage Blooms, and I might not remember all the names of the products included. This is a 6x8 stamp set, so a very large one. You can see there's images. There's 2 can images, and these are different sizes. You have a slightly narrower one and a slightly wider one. Then you have a bunch of sentiments, 8 sentiments. They all are intended to fit inside. I think some fit better, but like I think the happy birthday might be a hair too big for this one, but I can't remember. They'll either fit inside, well, they'll all fit inside the big one, and some will fit better inside the smaller one. But really cute. You have a couple labels you can use. So some things to decorate the cans, labels, as well as flourishes. Let's see if I can point them out. And even some flowers that you can use to decorate the can. So think of like vintage cans, vintage, I guess they'd be produce cans, you know, back from the 30s to 40s. That's, I think, the look here. You could not figure out what to call those cans. Vases, I know I call them cans too, because that's what I look at them as, cans, but they're cans that are intended to be used as vases. We're going, the look is kind of like a vintage flower market kind of look. And there's also, I have to point these out. The last thing are the cute little bees. Oh, mason jars. They could be mason jars too. Cute little bees. There's 5 in total. They're adorable. I love them. The moment I saw them, I knew they were going to go all over my flowers. We'll put that over there. You know, honestly, they could be whatever you want. However you color them, I think is that's going to be what they're going to look like. Kind of however you intend to color them, that's how they're going to read. I interpret them as cans. I'm not entirely sure I've got it right. I think that's what they are. Of course, there are coordinating dies for this set. So you have dies for the cans, dies for the bees and the flowers, as well as dies for all the sentiments, which we all love that. I do want to point out some things about the dies that I think are amazing, is that some of these sentiment dies do cut out the negative spaces between the letters and the words. You can see that. I always love that detail. This one's stuck on there. That just makes for a lacier die cut. That's really pretty. And die cuts for all the bees as well. Yeah, the bees are so cute, Cynthia. I love them. That's why I point them out, because they're so tiny and they get a little bit missed. But they are almost like the sequence or the gem of images. You can almost pop a bee anywhere, and it's just like that perfect little touch. And they're great for hiding little mistakes too. Because they fly, they can go anywhere, right? Hello, Linda. I'm trying to see if I have some die cuts. This month I was a little bit crazy this month, and I didn't get all the images stamped and colored like I used to, like I often do. And I may not be able to do that going forward, but I still have some that I can show you. I want to show you just how they can die cut nice and lacy. See how it cuts out the negative? those details, I'm telling you, card makers, we notice those details because they make a big difference. They step up the caliber of your card. Plus, you cannot fancy cut you cannot fussy cut those. I cannot, and I'm a pretty good fussy cutter, but there's no way I'm getting between that T and that H. No way. So I love it when dies cut some of those negative spaces out. I just think it's such a nice detail. Okay, so moving along. So you have that stamp set, the coordinating dies, of course, the cardstocks. What is this? Oh, that is a little bit of Copic marker ink that I didn't realize. It stands out so much. Also included is a set of layering stencils. This is a 4-piece layering stencil set. This is called Boho Bouquet. It creates a beautiful bouquet of flowers. I love layering stencils. They're so fun to play with. Let's get them in the right order. So we got 4, 3, 2, 1. Really pretty bouquet of flowers. And these are designed to pair with the cans or vases or mason jars or pots in this stamp set, because you create this bouquet and then with ink blending, then you can die cut it out with the Boho Bouquet fancy die. So this die coordinates with those stencils. And you know what? I'm going to now show you a card so you can kind of better understand what I'm talking about. Let's see, we'll put that. Let's put it like there, because there's one more product. So here's a card I created with the stencils, with the fancy die that cuts out that beautiful bouquet. I love layering stencils. I'll never get tired of them. And I love them for flowers because you can create little gradations over the flowers, which is so pretty. You can see those little bees. I had to get them on there. They're buzzing around my flowers. And here for the can, I stamped a sentiment from the set on the can, as well as a flower from the set, which is over here, this guy, and a couple flourishes on those cans, or on that can. And I just love how it turned out. So pretty, nice and simple, very bright and cheery. Robin says you can even make them a candle jar oh, that's so smart, Robin. You guys always have such good ideas. She says, by adding wicks and simple flames. Brilliant. I didn't even think about that. It totally looks like it could be a candle jar. So clever. And if you did it out of like vellum, that would be cool, because that could be almost like the glass that you can see through. So cool. I love that idea. Okay, the creative team loved this set. They love this stamp set with these stencils and die. So I have a bunch of samples to show you with the boho flower bouquet, or the boho bouquet, and the vintage blooms stamp set. So let me pop over to my images. Let's see here. There we go. Always takes me a minute. All right, starting off with this super pretty one by Charlene. I love the totally different color palette than from mine. So pretty. Love her sentiment right on the can. That's cute. Of course, she had to put some of those bees in there too. Stunning card. Then we have Rachel's, which is here. Look at her beautiful can, or her beautiful bouquet, I should say. I love how she used that teal cardstock. I think that's Seaside. Is that Seaside, Rachel? Is that from the pack? Love that. For the jar, or the can, I never would have thought of that. And I love it in colored cardstock. And you use colored ink too. So, so pretty. Also, notice the detail. She stamped some of the flowers from the stamp set separate or independent from a can, and then die cut them out, because there's coordinating dies for those, and use them to kind of decorate below. I thought that was a really smart idea. I didn't even think about using them outside of the cans. I'm going to pop over to the comments real quickly. Arctic. Oh, Arctic. Our Hero Arts love. I love Arctic. It's a beautiful cardstock. Pretty similar to Seaside. Maybe a little bit tingy bluer. Maybe. They're pretty close. All right. Let's pop back over. Come on, mouse. All right. Next one is Natasha Polite. This one's so pretty. I love seeing all the different colors that the creative team chooses to use. And I think Look how she did her bees. She stamped them directly onto the flowers, directly onto the ink blended bouquet. That's such a smart idea. You could probably even color them a little bit, even especially if you had like colored pencils, because that would cover up the ink blending behind them. That's such a smart idea. I wish I thought of that, because then there's no white space around them. Oh, so clever. And look at her can. It's all yellow on yellow cardstock. Beautiful. So pretty. And that background, that's a product that I'll show you later. And then moving along, we have this super beautiful one by Lisa. I love this one. I am loving these dark backgrounds lately. This one is stunning. It really, that bouquet pops against it. It's so pretty. And then she was so clever, I think, of gold heat embossing the can and the sentiment. Wow. So, so pretty. And her gold splatters and her little gold gems, just absolutely stunning. I know, that one's so pretty. Yee! Guys, I shouldn't say that. I really think the kids are going to get out early this time, or on time at least. I really think they do. I got to go to the warehouse this week, and I saw the stamp sets out and getting packed. So I'm like, finally, we're getting there. We're getting there. So thank you guys for being so patient for so long. Next up is this beautiful one by Jeannie. Jeannie always takes such creative kind of painterly approaches to her designs, her card layouts. I love this one. I like the ombre. I really like that ombre that she has over the flowers, that transition between the blue and kind of the mauve or purple. And her, of course, the coloring on her can is so good. She's so good at coloring. But her flourishes, how she used the flourishes on the sides to kind of create a frame, brilliant. I thought that was such a good idea. Never would I have thought of that. Let's scroll here. And then next we have this stunning card by Sika. So, so pretty. Love the soft palette. Sika does wonders with her colors. She's just amazing with her colors. And the background is, again, that stamp set I'll talk about later. Look at how she did her can, all gray, tone on tone. So good. And then, I don't know why it never occurred to me, but of course it occurred to Sika to just slightly position her flower arrangement, bouquet, whatever you want to say, slightly over to the left, so off of center. And that gave her room for her sentiment. Beautiful placement of that bouquet. I think that is such a pretty card. And then we have Rosie. Rosie's always so creative, and she gets a rainbow in, and I love it. And she got this beautiful rainbow gradation over her flowers. So pretty. And she tied it together with that rainbow stamped happy birthday. Such a fun card. And then I told you there's a lot. And then we have this one here by Natasha V. She is such a queen for technique. I don't even know what she does. She definitely is one where you're like, if you don't know what she does, go to her blog and read, because she does amazing things with product. And I always can't wait to see what she creates when she gets a kit or any of the subscriptions, because she just takes it to another level. I never would have thought. She'd create that beautiful background. And then look at all the texture and the depth on that can. Isn't that amazing? It looks real. It looks like real rust, real patina. So, so cool. And then we have this beautiful card. This one's by Jen. And what I really love about this one, besides the colors, because one, I love that green background. And she ink blended her flowers actually on colored cardstock. That's a pale yellow cardstock, probably our Hero Arts Canary cardstock. And then she, so it has this beautiful, softer kind of look. And then she just used the flowers. So I love that idea, how you can just use the flowers. You don't have to use them with the can all the time. And actually I did a sneak peek of the kit in the last live I did. And Rosie mentioned how you could use the flowers like one, create a bouquet above and create a bouquet below or on the corners. And I love that idea for your card front. And then your sentiment could go in the center. And I thought that was a great idea too for the bouquet, because it's a large bouquet of flowers, so you can cover a lot of surface. All right, and then where's my mouse? Okay, I'm not sure where it went. Next, we have this beautiful card. This is by Michelle. I love how she created this almost like a, how would we, like a shaped card almost, but has this, I'm thinking like an easel card. Kind of reminds me of an easel card where the flowers pop up beyond the card. Super pretty. Again, unique color for her. I love the red. Just very, very cool. And she created a tabletop, and that is a brilliant idea for the can to sit on. I didn't think of that. And then we have this one. Oh, I think my mouse is dead. He's not moving anymore. Okay, fine. Be that way. All right, and then we have this one by Michelle. This is Michelle Short, and this is a shaped card. So she went and actually created the can, and the flowers are her card. And you open it up, and it has, you know, the same thing on the back. So very, very good. And again, if you want more details on how she made that, check out her blog. Hello, hello. All right, and let's see. Popping back over to the comments. Then this is the last one I have for the flowers and cans from the kit. This one here by Anna, very, very smart. She actually turned this into, she turned the flowers into a place where you can house a gift card. And you just pull it out and then open it up, and that's where your gift card is. Isn't that brilliant? So, so smart. I love that idea. I want to try to create that myself. That's such a good idea. And I love the idea that your card and your gift are all in one. Isn't it brilliant? Okay, I'm going to put that away. Pop back over. All right. Bye, Mindy. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, so the next product I'm going to show you from the kit, which is the last product including the kit, is the, I think it's called Flower Delivery Truck Die Set. Pull this out of the way. This is gorgeous. This die set is so cool. It creates a flower truck that you, with the door that you can have either the door open or the door closed. And I'll show you examples of both. Bunch of flowers and leaves so you can create your flowers to sell for your little flower truck, a bunch of pots to put them in. And these here are all the layers that you would use to put this truck together. Now, I do have a video on Hero Arts YouTube channel. It came out yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. And I go over kind of how to create, how to build this. So definitely check that out, especially if you get this kit and you're not totally sure where things are, where they go. But it's pretty easy to put together, but there is a little catch. Like you want to make sure when you do the bottom part here that you start with the tires and then move on to these sections here, which are these dies for that. These are the tires. These two are for this like, what was I calling that before? I had asked my husband, like, what part of the car is that? Rims? Trim. Okay. It's very cool. And I will show you my two cars that I created. Now, unfortunately, a lot of the creative team did not get this die. So if you are wondering why you're not seeing as much of this die, unfortunately, this die was a little bit delayed. And so a lot of our creative team did not get to play with it in time for the release. So just giving a little warning there that if you're not seeing it as much, that's why. But we're going to start off with this card here that I created with that set. Super fun. I used the card stocks included in the card kit. And I chose to have my door closed on this truck. And you can see how nice these sentiments from this set go on that truck, especially with some of the flourishes in this set. So cute. I love the way that looks. It looks just like a little Parisian truck that you might see driving down the street. So cute. Made my flowers. Oh, thanks, Rachel. And I just created a little rainbow here with the cardstocks in the back. And then next we have this card that I created in the video. So if you want to check out how to make this card, you can see that right after this live. You can see I made this card with the dies, and I show you how to put it together. But same cardstocks. I use the same colors again. And this time I had the door open. So I opened up the door this time. So I didn't have this piece here. And I filled it with all my flowers, and it was so fun. Isn't that cool? It's just a fun kind of idea. And of course, this truck could be used for other things. You could put other things inside of here besides flowers if you happen to have other small dies. I think that could be a really fun idea to kind of play on this truck and just do. Can you imagine having, oh my gosh, I just thought of something. What if you totally changed the palette? Like right now we're all doing spring, but what if you kept it still flowers, but you change it to fall colors in the autumn? That would be so pretty, like a little farmer's truck selling autumn flowers. Oh, I love that. It'd be so cute. Okay, I have to do that. I have to revisit that. So, and I have one more card from Kelly, who's the head of our creative team. Let me pop over. My mouse is not working, so I apologize. My arm's going to be in front of my tabletop. We have this beautiful card by Kelly. Love that she went totally different colors with those pretty pinks and that are neutral now. We decided it's a neutral, the teal in the back. Love it, love it, love it. And I think she did a little bit of ink blending also on her in the opening of her truck. And that really adds a lot of depth and perspective. So I think that's a really cool trick. And I love the placement of her sentiment on this card. So good. And that beautiful is actually from a set I'm going to show you at the very end. That's actually from the whole studio set, that beautiful sentiment. Okay, moving on. So that is the card kit. You've seen everything. The die, the flower truck die, the stencils, the coordinating die for that, the stamp set. That's a big one, 6x8 dies, and of course your pack of paper. And again, there's 2 of every one of those colors, so lots of paper. Love that. I hate running out of paper. Let me move on to some of our other subscription options. So we have 4 other subscriptions. We call them our monthly minis. I'm not sure if we're going to move away from that term, but that's what we've been calling them, is our monthly minis. That bothers me. I have to give it a quick clean. I can't stand it. There, he's gone. All right, so we're going to start with the die set of the month. Let me grab it here. Here is the die set, and it's probably kind of hard to tell. Pop back over to the comments. And again, I apologize for my hand being in the way. There we go. Oh, Charlene. Hello. Welcome. Charlene's also part of our creative team. Ooh, an ice cream truck. Does somebody suggest to use the truck as an ice cream truck? I love that idea. So good. I do think there's other things you could turn it into, and I think that would be so fun, like almost like a challenge. I love challenges. I think that would be fun. Okay, so this is the May die set of the month, and it's an awesome set. I think it's called Village Florist. So it creates, probably hard to tell from just seeing it here like this, but it actually creates a cute, it's the cutest, guys, a cute little shop. And speaking about using it for other things, that's another one you could switch it out, change the palette, change kind of some of the accessories, and have it have different themes. But it creates a cute little shop. And let me show you my card so you can get a better idea. So here's a card I created with that set. It's such an adorable little set. You can use this part up here to stamp your sentiment too, and I love that idea. I didn't do that for my card. I really wanted to combine a sentiment from the card kit, and I love the way it turned out. I probably should glue that end, huh? But I love the way it turned out. I love the idea of playing around with different color palettes. It's just a fun, sweet little set. And the scale of the shop, I think, is a little unusual. I've seen shops before. I've seen die sets that create a little shop, or even a stamp set that create a shop, but I haven't seen one like this kind of scale. Usually they're like landscape. So I love profile. That's my favorite style of card to make. And I love how this fills the space, and it doesn't fill it all the way. It's not too big. You could put other things in here is what I'm trying to say. You could do a ground. You could do a sky. It doesn't like completely engulf your card. So I really think it's a great scale and a super cute little set. So I'm going to now show you a couple cards, or a few cards created by the creative team. Gosh, I hate not having my mouse. There we go. Let's see here to figure out where I left off. All right, we're going to start with Rachel's beautiful card. Rachel, I love this one. It's so sweet. Her colors are so soft and pretty. She did a lot of tulips, and I think that's gorgeous. Look at where she hung her hanging pot by the door. That's so cute. Love the pink. And she did a ground and a sky. Like, I just love how it, what's the word? I guess grounds. It grounds the little shop. So cute. And she put her awning up a little bit higher. And I think that's so cool that you can kind of switch it around. I'm going to pop back over to mine real quick so you can see the difference. See how my awning is down here? You can put it up high like that, like Rachel did. And then you have a little bit more space, more storefront space. So very smart. Then we have this beautiful one by Rosie. And she won. Look at all of her flowers. I mean, she went all out and on the flowers. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And she actually I'm not sure if you can tell, but she actually made her awning. I think she made her awning. She folded it. So it's a little bit dimensional. It's kind of popping out a little bit. She kind of folded it. And I think that's such a good idea too. I never would have thought of that. Super cute. I'm going to pop over to the comments real quick to make sure. Do you have some neat ideas? I do too. It's such a good one. I can't have a shop without a sidewalk. That's a good idea, Rachel. Apparently, I didn't have a problem with that. It does have a feeling of an old-fashioned candy shop. A candy shop? Oh my gosh, I love that idea. All right, I'm going to pop back over. And then we have this stunning one from Mindy. Look at that. It's so pretty. I love her colors. I love that peach awning. And look, she stamped her sentiment up at the top in that opening, which I think is such a cool thing that you can stamp your sentiment there. It just takes out sometimes the guesswork of where to put your sentiment. Really, really cute. And her door handle, she actually used a handle that's supposed to be on a pot. She used it for the door, and that's also a cute detail. Almost looks like a mail slot, doesn't it? Oh, such a pretty card. All right, I'm going to pop here. All right, so that is all. That's the whole, gosh, sorry guys, can't find my words. That's the whole May die set of the month. So really cute. And it's a big boy. There's a lot of dies in there. I think it's a powerhouse die set. A lot of bang for your buck for that one, I feel like. Because he's really versatile. I think you could make it Christmassy even just by how you arrange the flowers and the color choices. So fun. Oh, I want to challenge myself to make it like all 4 seasons. That would be so fun. That's a good one. All right, next, we are going to take a look at the stamp and cut of the month. Oh, I wish I had a shop like that in my town. My town is very deserty looking. All right, so this is the May stamp and cut. Well, this is the stamp set from the stamp and cut. It has clearly a floral set, kind of a unique one. The florals are more whimsical and gestural, very, very cute. Great for all seasons, right, Charlene? Wouldn't that be fun to turn it into different seasons? That gets me so excited. I love playing with color and changing themes just with color. Oh, I think it'd be fun. And there's some great back to what I was talking about. And there's some great sentiments in this set too. I'm here for you. I love the way they look, sending positive vibes. Sorry, my stamp's a little offset, so you probably can't read that one. It says, where flowers bloom, there is hope. So very appropriate. And then one day at a time. Very, very cute. So really pretty flowers, unique kind of style. I like the scale, a little smaller. That's a little different. You have coordinating dies that will die cut all those flowers out. And let me show you a card I created with the May stamp and cut of the month. So I actually stamped and colored all the flowers from this set. And then I turned it into one mega bouquet. just to show you kind of the different ways you can use these flowers. You could totally turn them into a smaller bouquet, but I wanted to just go all out. And then I stamped that sentiment, where flowers bloom, there is hope. So very pretty. And I just did some simple Copic coloring. But I've got to show you what the creative team did, because they knocked it out of the park with this set. They did so many creative ideas. So let's pop over. Here it is. Pop back over. So my mouse disappears, like my little cursor, I should say. My cursor disappears. First up is this one by Sika. So this is great because she just used one grouping of flowers and colored them, die cut them out, framed them with an arch die, added a little stripy rainbow or stripy colors behind. So simple, so cute, brilliant. She does brilliant things with clean and simple design as well. And then we have this one from Kelly. She took these flowers and she grouped them together like a grid almost and stamped on the vellum the sentiment. Really, really pretty. Love her color choices. That's a gorgeous card. And then we have another creative team member, Lisa, who took one flower and grouped it together. Again, kind of that grid format. Super, super pretty. I love the green behind there with those colors. And I think she put a little gem inside of the center of each one of those flowers, and I thought that was cute. And then we're going to move on to some simple embossed resist and watercolor. This is Michelle. She stamped these and white heat embossed them and then did some watercolor over them, the white heat embossed resist. And so you can see all the lines from the stamped image. And I think it's so pretty. And then we have another watercolor card. This one is by Rachel. Rachel, I'm obsessed with this card. Obsessed. What did you use to watercolor? What did you use? So she clearly gold heat embossed these flowers, arranged them into a like wreath, which is another really pretty way to kind of showcase these flowers or use them. You know, we've seen bouquet, we've seen grid, now we've seen a wreath, or even almost like a flower crown, right? And I love the way she did her background, where she had the same colors she used kind of in the flowers kind of bleed out and just create that's pretty pop of color on the background as well. I'm going to pop over to the comments to see what Rachel used. Oh, they're the glitz. Oh, that's so pretty. Love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, and then the glitz French pink is really pretty. It's beautiful pink color. Okay, and then moving on to Michelle. Michelle did a watercolor thing as well, or watercolor panel thing. That's really good vocabulary over here. Love that. She had the flowers almost kind of lighter. I'm not sure she lifted the color off of the flowers. That's what I'm guessing she did. And then, but did go back in and add some shadow so they popped a little bit, but so pretty. Michelle does some amazing and very creative things. It's almost like a galaxy with flowers. And then we have Natasha. Oh, kitties are meowing. Natasha did some kind of simple colored stamping, and I love the way it looks. Beautiful rainbow, ombre stamp, or well, I kind of ombre stamping or multi-inking for that sentiment. Really, really pretty. And that actually is it for the May Stamp and Cut. And I'll pop up over to the comments. Yeah, the wreath is so good. Rachel did an incredible job with that. They're a dream for watercolor. Yeah, the reactive glitz are really great for watercolory techniques. They're great for that. That is the best way to use them, I think. They stamp well too, but they're also really great for splishy, splashy water techniques because they're water reactive. That's why they're called reactive glitz. Okay, the next one, we're going to have question. Wendy says, if we are a subscriber, can we still add on to our monthly kit? Example, add a die of the month. So the sooner you do it, Wendy, the more likely you can. I would email. We're doing it. It's a little different than how we used to do it. So that's why I don't have a very clear-cut answer for you. So I'm sorry about that. What you should do, though, is email info@heroarts.com. And I'm going to pop that in here. But I believe you have a little bit of time to do that. Oops. Where is my mouse? There it is. Here we go. info@heroarts.com. And ask them, tell them you're interested in that, and they should be able to, should be a way to do that. We used to be able to do that. I think they still are offering that, but I'm not sure the window of when that closes. Okay, until the 5th. Gosh, thank you, Cynthia, of the month. So is that, we still have time. Phew. I think that's kind of why we do this so, well, not so early, but we do try to do the spotlight kind of soon. So you do have time. Yeah, no shipping added. That's what I believe. Yeah. So that's good. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm glad somebody knows what they're talking about. It changed and then I got confused. All right. So this is the cling of the month. And it is called, I forgot what this one was called. I forgot, but it's super pretty. It has this, you saw on a ton of cards already. I love this cling. It's great for adding pattern to your backgrounds. And it's not too busy of a pattern because it's, you know, in this real clean, it's not, how I should say it. It's really organized. It's like a true pattern. It's very symmetrical. What's the right word? I don't know, but it's a really great stamp set. It's 6x6. Red rubber cling, which we all know, red rubber stamps, beautiful, and they're great for tons of techniques. They're really, I love my red rubber clings. They're amazing. Here it is all stamped out. Really, really pretty. Now I've got to show you some of our Creative Teams cards because they, again, did so many cool things. Here we go. Rosie, in particular, she did amazing things. Love this. This basically is the star of the focal point of her card, is this pattern, basically pattern paper she created with the cling, and then just put her sentiment at the bottom. So, so cute. And that sentiment is actually the stamp set, or the whole studio, the bonus item, that's what we say. The bonus item that's included in the whole studio. That's what you're seeing at the bottom. And then here's another one by Rosie. This is multi-inking. So she inked up that cling in 4 different colors and stamped it so it has an ombre look. Very cool. Love that technique with this stamp. And then we have this one by Rosie where she also multi-inked, this time at a diagonal. And then she ink blended over the panel with the same colors. So really, really pretty. And that's just like, I think the tip of the iceberg, what you could do. There's also emboss resist techniques you can do with this stamp, which you can actually see here on Natasha's card. She stamped this and heat embossed it in she either stamped it in black and then poured clear over, or stamped it and then poured black embossing powder over. But either way, it's heat embossed and resisting her fun watercolory background that she created, that she's a master of. Is creating these super textured, lots of interest backgrounds. And also what I love about what she did here too is something that we forget about is partial inking. She didn't stamp the whole panel. She intentionally stamped she only inked up part of the stamp and stamped it. And so that had this broken pattern, and that's just so cool to do. And it really changes the look. So I'm gonna put that away. Pop back to the comments. So super pretty. Yeah, Rosie nailed it for sure. Rosie's so good with the cling stamps. She does amazing things with them. All right, and that takes us to our final product. So this is the last, well, I guess not final product, but our final monthly mini, and that is the layering stencils of the month. There are 4 stencils in this set, and gosh, I forgot what this one was called too, but it's a super pretty, oh, it's called Roses Are Red. That's right, because I didn't do them in red, and I thought, uh-oh. But it's a 4-piece layering stencil set. And all of our layering stencils have these registration marks and these corners. So for the first stencil, once you place it on your paper, you ink blend and also ink blend the 4 corners. So then you'll have these 4 little squares on your paper that you'll use to line up your next stencil. So really, really awesome way to make sure your stencils are always lined up, keeps all the guesswork out of it. But there are 4 stencils in this set. I love this one that adds the detail to the flowers, when that do leaves and details for the leaves, and even some pretty little flowers in the background. Really cute set. They are so extraordinary, Michael. I agree. So here's a card, or I actually didn't turn this into a card. But here's a panel that I created with these stencils. Had some fun doing kind of gradations with my ink blending. And that's something, again, I love that you can do with stencils. Stencils are a great product, kind of like the cling, again, where there's lots of techniques you can do with them. You can combine them with ink blending, obviously, but you can also use them with pastes. You can use them with sprays. So there's a lot of fun things you can do with stencils. You can use a stencil all on its own. Like this stencil, this one layer could easily be used just by itself. You know, there's just a lot. I think there's so much you can do. You can really stretch your supply or your product with stencils. Lots of bang for your buck here for this one. So very cool set. Put that aside. Let me show you a bunch more samples created by the creative team. Thank you, Rachel. It's a fun set. I love layering stencils, though. They're always one of my favorites. Where's my... I hate not being able to find my cursor. Okay. Weird. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that. I just was moving my cursor, and for some reason that was making my iPad move. What? I didn't know that was possible. Okay, now we're going to move on to some creatine samples with the May Layering Stencil of the Month, starting off with this one by Charlene. Oh, so pretty. I love her pinks and her bright, vivid greens. Also, notice how she added some gems here and there to fill in some of the negative space. That's a great idea. I love that. And then we have this one by Jen, I believe. Yes, by Jen. Super soft, really pretty. So that's something fun too, is you can just change it so much by your colors as well. And I think, I'm not sure what she put in the center of her flowers, but I love it. I think they're just enamel dots, but they're so pretty, that dimension and shine. Then we have this one by Michelle. She snuck a little rainbow in there too, and it's so pretty. Another fun thing, kind of fun technique you can do with stencils. And then we have this stunning card by Kelly. So, so beautiful. She did use paste. She used the glitter paste, the Hero Arts glitter paste for one of her layers. And that just adds some pretty texture and shine. Not sure if you guys can really see, but really, I can tell. And it's just, I bet in person, it's stunning. And then we have this one by Mindy. And I thought this was a great example of how all the cards you've seen before, they've done that. They used the stencils and created a panel, and then they just took that panel and put it on a card. Here, Mindy took her panel and broke it up, and she used dies. And I thought that's such a great idea too. Another way to get a different look out of your stencils is kind of taking it beyond just a A2 panel. And I thought she basically created like a giant postage stamp, and I thought that was really cute. All right. And I think that is it. All right, guys. So now we've looked at all of the 5 subscription options: the card kit, the die set of the month, the stamp and cut of the month, which again is that stamp set and coordinating die, the cling of the month, and the layering stencils. Now we're going to look at the whole studio bonus item. So the 6th subscription option is really all 5 in one. And if you do sign up for the whole subscription, you get a bonus item each month. And this month's bonus item And I'm going to grab some cardstock for it. Here it is. So you can see it. Is this really great sentiment set. This is a 4x6 sentiment set. I forgot what it was called. I think Thanks a Bunch is what it's called. Lots of wonderful sentiment strips. You could see a lot of our creative team members did use this stamp set over all the cards that were created. I'm going to pop back over to the comments here. Very, very pretty. And I love sentiment strips. I use them all the time. I love combining them with a word die. So I always come back to my sentiment strip stamp sets. And I feel like I can never have enough of them because there's always some sentiment I need that I like a little bit different. So I love that. So we even have like Flower Market. That could be so perfect on the shop. Because again, these could fit on that little shop part up here. You saw some do hello, like gorgeous there or beautiful. And this one's a little unique because there's like these little dots between the sentiments, which I think is cute. And of course, there's some flourishes and a little bee, so little extras, but a really nice sentiment set that's really handy. They're always so handy. I do have a card to show you, and I have a couple cards by the creative teams with this set. Here's the card I created, kept it very simple. So this card was made just with this stamp set, stamp to sentiment, and a couple of the flourishes, and then of course that cute little bee, simple little Copic coloring. So cute. And I love the bee's knees. I mean, I love that sentiment. So cute. Okay, let me pop over to the few that I have of the creative team. We have this one first by Karen. She went and just stamped them all out and then used some of the flower dies from the die set of the month to just embellish. And I thought that was a cute idea. So very fun. And then we have this one by Karen as well. And I love this idea. I'm obsessed with it. She used it as basically like a background pattern, all those sentiments. And I thought that is so clever. And now I want to do it. Not to mention, look at her beautiful bouquet of flowers. You can never go wrong with pink and like a corally red. Like those are a match made in heaven, those two colors. So, so pretty. And then last but not least, we have this stunning card by Kelly where she went ahead and cut those sentiments out to make actual sentiment strips, created a whole focal point. Like she used 3 sentiment strips, paired with a couple of the flourishes from the, or actually just a couple flourishes from that stamp set. And that was her focal point. So basically her whole card. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Kelly is brilliant at card design. Okay. All right. Yeah, so cool how she used it. Totally agree. All right, so that is everything. We saw it all. That is the May Hero Studio release. There's again the blog hop. Check that out. That's going on. There's a giveaway tied to that. So the link is shared in the description below the video. So check that out. Also, be sure to check out the creative team's blogs. They were so all the cards most of the cards I shared were from them. They're amazing and they deserve lots of love. So head up over their blog, leave them some comments, possibly use their affiliate links if anything stands out for you. It's awesome. Could you stamp all the sentiments and then highlight one? Oh my gosh, Linda, that's such a good idea. Yes, you absolutely could. You could stamp all the sentiments and then like highlight one, either just stamp it on colored cardstock and then put it right on top. And you guys, do you know how to stamp all of these at once? If not, let me show you how. Let me show you how real quick. Nice, Cynthia. I love that. I am going to make a card though too. So I am going to make a card, but I want to show you this real quick because this is a hack that people need to know if they don't know it. So if you want to stamp all these sentiments, and unfortunately I did take mine off. Let's see if we can get mine line up again. This is what I do when I want to stamp all my sentiments up. Actually, when I want to stamp, when I test product. There we go. And I'm gonna get this flourish lined up too. Let's just do it. Let's create a background. Then I have it for when I need it for something. I have this scrap of cream cardstock. Let's use that. I don't have to have it perfect, but there you go. Okay. Thanks, Charlene. See you later, my friend. All right, I'll pop this in here. So the way that I will stamp all of it, and I might end up doing it like this. Is I will actually just tape it. I will tape. So right now, all the stamps are stuck to that printed piece of acetate. And I'm going to see kind of where I want it to go, like there. And then I'll grab some tape, and I have some here, so we'll use that. And I will tape that acetate down. And then you can stamp all of those at once, especially when you just got this and everything's nice and straight. No worries, Robin. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you were able to make it. And we will create a quick card. I'm going to create a quick card with the stencils. So it will go fast. And I have some fun ideas that I want to try. You know what we'll do for the last one is this. Use this thinner tape. All right, so I got everything taped in. This is cream. I think I want to do like almost a tone on tone is what I'm thinking. So grab some spicy mustard, maybe. Let's do it. Can you tell I'm on a yellow kick? We'll just do spicy mustard. It goes with the bees and the honey theme, I guess. Is there honey? Maybe not. So after you've kind of taped that whole piece of acetate down, you just ink and stamp like you normally would. And I'm thinking of making like a background. That's why I'm not worried about it stamping off the edge. Very cool. I'll do one more time. And I would guess this is how Karen did hers too, is that she just taped the whole acetate sheet inside her Misty or whatever stamp positioning tool she was using. And they're all stamped out, all nice and straight. What happens if I do it over here? I feel like I have to flip it around, which I didn't think about, which is a bit of a problem. Didn't think about that. I'm going to stamp it again. We'll have a little overlap in one spot, but that's where my sentiment could go, or my focal point or whatever, because I'm thinking this will just be a background if I ever do use it. The only problem is I inked up those. Oh, bummer. Well, this probably didn't work, but at least you saw kind of how you would do it. Okay, so let's create a card now. I butchered that, but let's create a card. Let me get this a quick wipe down with the layering stencils. All right. And I have all the colors picked out. So I've taken away a lot of the guesswork this time, so it should go nice and fast. Let's just get this out of the way. All right, we're going to actually start with a piece of colored cardstock. And I have a panel here of that seaside, that teal cardstock, super pretty. I should have done that, Cynthia. I did not even think about that. Put some masking paper on the part already printed. I should have done that. I forgot about that part and I should have done that. That would have been simple and so easy. Well, that's what I should do next time I make one. Do it proper. I want to put a little piece of tape on the backside of this panel just to hold it in place on my work surface. I do have a sticky mat, but my sticky mat or my grip mat is a little bit dirty right now. And I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to clean it. All right, we're going to start stencil 1. Now, my panel is obviously smaller than too small. It's an A2 panel, but it's too small for the grid or for the registration marks. So I'm not going to be able to really take advantage of that. I could always have started, what I did for this one is I started with a bigger panel, and that's how you can do that to take advantage of those marks. But the stencil's pretty easy to line up, so I'm not worried about it. But I will center my stencil. That's all I'm going to do is make sure my stencil's centered over that panel. And that looks good once I get it in place. I'll just use a couple pieces of tape to hold it down. Also, I do want to note, before I get going, the stencil has, because these stencils are layering and one layer works with another layer, one stencil works with another stencil, you want to make sure you have your stencils all going the right way. So down in the bottom left corner, you'll have the SKU number, which is LS525 for the month and the year. And then you'll have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You want to make sure those numbers are legible. And then in the lower right, you'll have Hero Arts. Again, you want to make sure that's legible. So you want to make sure that's always in the lower left, the SKU and the stencil number, and then on the right is the Hero Arts logo. And that will make sure if you do that every time, you will have your stencils the right way. You won't have your layers mixed up. Because I've done it before where I flipped a stencil over and ink blended basically the back side of the stencil and then couldn't understand why my layers weren't lining up. Okay. We're going to ink blend this with 2 inks. We're going to do some gradations. I'm going to start with Ultra Pink. This is such a pretty pink, but I do want to keep it kind of soft. So I'm going to load up my brush and then just ink blend on some scrap. There you go. And then I'll come to my panel. You can see there's big flowers and little flowers, which are so cute. Those little flowers in the background are gorgeous. All right, so we have a nice kind of soft blend there. Now it's time for the gradations, which is the best part. I can almost never resist putting in a gradation when I have a layering stencil set. So we're going to go for a darker color, Azalea. I'm going to load up. Now this one I want really light because we are going to use this for our second layer. So I want contrast for the second layer. But I do want to get a little gradation here. So I'm loading this up, tapping off the excess. Okay, now I'm going to come to my just ink blend a tiny bit. On these big flowers only. I'm avoiding the small ones. And after I ink blended that, I feel like it might be a little too light with my light pink, so I'm going to go back over with my ultra pink. Ultra. All right, there we go. So pretty. Now the big reveal. That's also a fun perk with stencils. It's so fun to take off the layers and see how it turned out. Super pretty. We got some beautiful gradations. Love it. Okay. Now we're going to move on to stencil number 2. Pretty easy to line up, as you can see here. Don't really need the registration marks so much for this stencil, but they're always nice to have. Okay, this time we're going to go one color and all in on azalea. Stencils are amazing, aren't they? They're just the best. You know what? No, I'll stick with just azalea. I was debating, do I want to do it ultra pink? No, I'll just stick with azalea. Going to be pretty heavy-handed here. This is the layer that Kelly added the paste to. This is a great layer for the paste. And you could do gold paste. She did glitter paste, but gold paste would be really cool here, or some colored paste. You can always colorize Hero Arts, the basic paste. You can even colorize the glitter paste too. Probably wouldn't want to colorize the gold paste. It's very easy to colorize. You just use some ink. You can use ink out of the ink pad. You just press some ink from the ink pad onto a slick work surface and then mix that ink with the paste using a palette knife. Or you can use a re-inker and scoop out some paste, add it to a slick surface to use as a palette, and then add a couple drops of the ink from the re-inker and then mix that together. So, and we have videos on that on our YouTube channel. A lot of our creative team members do that because it's super cool technique. Look at that. So good. Yes, the glitter paste is amazing. And you guys, you get a lot in the glitter paste. Do I have one here? I do. This is the Hero Arts glitter paste. And look at all that. It's 4 ounces, but it's a ton. So a little bit will go a long way. And we could add glitter paste to this layer, but if I do that, that's the last thing I want to do because it has to dry and I can't do anything fun while it's drying. But look at this already, the contrast. It looks so pretty. Wouldn't this be great if you just positioned some of the other flowers here and there and did filled it in with flowers? You just could not do the leaves if you wanted to. So good. Okay, but we're gonna play by the rules. We're gonna do all 4 stencils in the right order. All right, this stencil, since it doesn't actually overlap, kind of goes in the negative space. So now I'm going to go back to making sure the gap here from the edge of the paper to the edge of the stencil is about the same. That's how I know it's centered. And that's about right. Oh, I can see that needs to go down a little bit. This part does connect. There we go. So I guess we do have a little indicator there. That's nice. All right, all right. Stick that down. Okay. We got to do some gradations here. So we're going to use, oh gosh, this ink. I'm not going to attempt to say that name. And then Fresh Lawn, which is a beautiful green. Let's find my ink blending brushes for these. I'm going to start with this guy. He's the lighter color. And I'm going to ink blend the tips of our leaves in this beautiful color. kind of it's a teal. If I get some of the base of the leaves with this teal, I am not worried about that. That's not anything to worry about. Okay, that's ink blended. Now we're going to move on to Fresh Lawn. Grab my blending brush. Ooh, he's juicy. Ink blend, a little gradation. He was juicier than I thought he was going to be. All right. Happy with that. Let's get my tweezers out here. Oh, so pretty already. Then I'll grab stencil number 2, or number 4. And we'll line this one. And this will be pretty easy to line up. You can see how I really haven't had to fuss very much with the lineup of these. They're pretty easy. Now we're going to go for a darker green. The darkest green I think Hero Arts has, which is pine. Besides Forever Green, which is more of an olivey green. And I remember now, I should have used pixie spray and I forgot about that. This 4th layer tends to lift a little bit or catch on my tool right here. So I'm just going to go be careful, take my time. If you use pixie spray, you wouldn't even have to worry about it, but I'm going to take my time here. And because I did use pixie spray in the past, I might have still a little residual stick to it. Oh, I was going to stamp this first. Oh, well, I forgot. I thought maybe I should stamp this with the cling. That would have been really cute if I did tone on tone. I'll have to do that later, I guess. Do a really light stamping of that pattern. I love layering patterns. So I'll have to do that at another time. But I would stamp this with something very similar in color to the colored cardstock, like Arctic. Here are its Arctic ink. And then, so it has just very faint, very tone on tone. You could even do embossing and watermark ink, but that just takes too long to dry for me because I'm impatient. Hopefully I didn't mess it up right there. Getting kind of reckless. It's the last layer you want to take your time with. But I do want to make sure I get everything. All right, I think we did it. I get every single little flower center. This does all the flower centers too. Okay, let's take it off. Oh yeah, it turned out great. Super pretty. It did mess it up a little bit there when I was a little reckless, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's fine. It's fine. But look at how pretty. It looks so pretty on top of a non-white. It's fun to kind of do these on colored cardstock, especially a light colored cardstock, so you can still get bold, bright colors. Let's do something a little different now. This is something, we're like taking it up one more level, and we're going to add a drop shadow. Now I'm not going to use the stencil for that. I'm going to use a marker, and this will just make everything pop. But you know, I'm going to grab some scrap cardstock just because I'm going to test my colors. Thank you, Michael. Have to get up for that. I didn't plan on testing, so let's see. I must have a scrap somewhere in here of this cardstock color so I can test on. These are not organized, so it's taking forever to find it. Here we go. I found it. Well, that's not it either. Dang it. Why can't I find one? This is it? This is it. Okay. I just want to test this color out. And I just re-inked this, and I think I got way too much ink. Can't win. We'll do this color. We'll do this one. So this is G00. And I'm just going to add a shadow. Woo! I may have over inked my Copics. Ah! Okay, we'll do it. We'll still be fine. I just need to go slow. Oh, that was less fine. What do I do? Do I have something else I can use? There's something similar. Sorry, guys, an unexpected turn of events. Oh, I've got another one. Okay. Oh, we're so lucky. That's not great, though, but well, I don't know what we'll do about that. We'll worry about that later. And this may look hard. It's actually easier than it looks. Your eye is pretty forgiving. Like if you're worried about, oh my gosh, I don't really know where the shadow should go, it doesn't really matter that much. That's the big secret. It doesn't matter that much. It's not that big of a deal if you get the shadow, like the perspective of the shadow, a little off. It's not really like uncanny valley over here. Oh, good. That's drying pretty light. Why is it so dark up here, though? I like it light. Maybe because it's running so thick out. I wonder if I could take a colorless blender and clean some of it up. And I was thinking I was doing so good. Add a gold bee. That's a great idea, Cynthia. He needs a bee very badly. Bees would be so cute on this, though. That actually would be so cute. A gold one especially. That's a great idea. You guys always have good, really good ideas. And I'm not sure if it's translating on camera, but I am not being very careful. The only part I'm worried about is up here. What I'm going to do about that. This is kind of a rough and ready kind of coloring job, but I really think it's still going pretty good. All right, believe it or not, we're over halfway. I'm debating now, do I color the little flowers? Maybe. Do I add a shadow to those? I think I'm going to have to. I think everything has to have a shadow to look right. All right. I'm just about done. All right, now I'm trying to add a little shadow to the pink flowers. I'm going over some that I did before just to kind of darken it up again because my first time I started coloring was so dark. Okay, let's check it out. Well, let's do a little cleanup here. See if I can. Grab my color splendor. Just gonna see if I can pick up some of that color. All right, and now I'm gonna try to fix it with going back over with my ink blending. And that'll be the last thing I try. If I can't fix it this way, then gold B it is. That's so true. Michael says, my art professor taught us that to put a Post-it note with an arrow showing the direction of the light. That's a good one. That's very good. But I agree. Yeah, I don't think it has to be that serious either. I agree. I think people get. I think if you that's something you enjoy doing, go for it. But I think some people it actually is a deterrent from giving something a try. And that's what I'm trying to overcome. I don't want you to feel like you don't know where the life source, so you don't understand it, therefore then you just don't try. And that's the reason why I emphasize that it's not a big deal, because I don't actually think it is. I think it doesn't matter that much. Well, I think I covered it up a little bit. I'm going to ink blend a couple more of these again, just to amp up the intensity to match that new area. That I ink blended and fixed. It's okay. I think it would be great if we're gonna do this. Maybe this is the last thing. Would have been pretty good if my Copic marker didn't bleed everywhere. We might have got away with it then, but now hold it up here to the camera in just a second. Dry, dry. But there's one more thing I think we can do. That'd be fun. Oh, I do love the colors though. They're so pretty. All right, I'll hold it up, but it's not the best because of that bleeding. Oops, I forgot you, I think. Because I don't think you can really see the shadow from down here. Let's see, we've got like this drop shadow. Kind of fun. It kind of pops away. It's subtle. More visible definitely in person than I think it's reading on camera. The last thing I'm going to do to finish it is add, grab it out here. Some Hero Arts pearls to the flower centers. I should have done that, Jennifer. I overfilled my Copic markers. And now I'm like going, how do I fix that problem? This guy is coming out full force. Let me give him a little clean. We're going to add this to the centers. I think I'm going to do it to everything. Do I want to do it to everything? We'll start with the big flowers. Let's not put let's put our Copic marker in instead. Let's do that. Can't take me anywhere. Put that there. This is going to be like the glitter paste, though. I won't be able to touch it till it's dry. Okay, we're almost done here. I got children being ninjas around me, taking my stuff while I'm doing this live. I think they're stealing my scissors. But they caught me at a really vulnerable time because I cannot even look up right now while I'm doing this. So they knew just the perfect time to strike. I think it needs it on all the little flowers as well. That's the next thing I'm going to do. But bringing this black now, we can do a black sentiment strip. And it will all go together perfectly. Thank you, Jennifer. It's not bad. I just, you know, when you make a mistake and all you can see is the mistake. That's where I'm at right now. All I can see is the mistake I made. But I do really love the colors. Oh, it's so pretty. You do kind of see it popping, though. I think you do kind of see it popping away from the... Really pretty. Can you see the hero pearls? Nice dimension. I added it to all the centers. And now I can just finish this with a black heat embossed sentiment strip. Maybe I'll do white. Maybe I'll do gold. I don't know. But really fun. Fun to do it on colored cardstock. But I'm going to let that dry. You know what I will do is I will finish this up and then I'll post it on my Instagram and I'll share it in the Hero Arts Facebook group. If you haven't checked out, we have a Facebook group. Check that out. It's a really fun place. Lots of fun things are going on there. We do have a fun series coming exclusively to the Facebook group soon. So head over there if you're not a member and sign up. And let me pop to my other camera. There we go. Well, thank you guys for spending some time with me on this Friday. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I will be live. The next time I'll be live is actually for the Stamp and Create, where I will create 2 cards with the May products, the May Hero Studio release. I might actually be live before then, maybe, because we have some collections coming. But for right now, for sure, towards the end of May, I will pop in and live again, and I will create a card with the May card kit and a card with one of the monthly minis. But thank you guys so much for spending time with me. I hope you enjoyed looking at the May Hero Studio release, and I hope I will see you guys in another live soon. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend. My cursor's gone. I can't end the stream because I can't get my cursor. Yeah, let's see. What was that? There we go.